I think it's very much doom and gloom from the Bank of England, not least the fact that it's decided to carry out this almost double rate hike. And that seems to signal that it is very concerned about inflation. But also, when we look at the Bank of England's forecasts, it's increased its outlook in terms of inflation and it's reduced its outlook for GDP. It's now looking at a recession. So the near term does look rather desperate. I think that inflation always tends to hit low income households hardest. And it was good that the Bank of England was clear to acknowledge that. It's treading a very, very difficult line between trying to bring some of the heat out of the economy, bring price levels back down closer to its 2% target without inadvertently causing a recession. But a lot of the path for inflation will depend on external factors. It depends on how the war in Ukraine plays out, depends on the path for commodity prices, and it depends on whether these supply chain issues ease out over time. I think that the Bank of England clearly has been looking at its counterparts overseas, such as the Fed, that carried out two 75 basis point increases, the Bank of Canada with its recent 100 basis point increase, and it doesn't want to get behind the curve. That's why we saw this aggressive action in part today. Back in December, the Bank of England was ahead of the pack. It was one of the first movers, but it's been carrying out incremental small interest rate rises. Other central banks now playing catch up. And I think the Bank of England wants to signal its seriousness when it comes to inflation. But the most pressing and important problem to tackle is inflation first and foremost, because without it, we won't have economic stability, we won't see investment, we won't see consumption, and it's very, very difficult to grow an economy when price levels are spiraling out of control.